Hello everybody, MyFinanceTeacher here, bringing you another analysis of gold price performance. We are now at the price level of 1291, and let's have a look at gold price over the last almost couple of years, talking about intermediate cycles lasting from December 2016 to July 2017, and another one that is ongoing at the moment. They generally last for about half a year, and I expect that the current one will bring us lower prices over the next several weeks. That is the intermediate cycle in gold. Talking about slightly shorter term cycles, daily cycles, they last for about a month and a half to 2 months, as we see them on the chart, something like that. And the current one has started on 6th of October, so near the early part of December. In the first half of December, we will be within the timing range for this short-term daily cycle to give us a lower low, and I expect that will be the final low of the intermediate cycle that has been going on since July this year. Some analysts argue that we are not going to see prices below this 1263 level, which has acted as support for quite a while already. We bounced off that price level in early August, in early October, late October, and early November. So multiple times this price level has already acted as support, but I think it's going to be broken over the next several weeks. Now let's have a look at the reasons why I think so. Firstly, I want to mention that there is a fundamental reason for that. In the middle of December, there will be an FOMC meeting, which is expected to raise interest rates. And generally, over the last couple of years, gold price has moved down into these FOMC meetings that increased the interest rate. So history doesn't have to repeat itself, but it rhymes, and something of a downward move can be expected going into the FOMC meeting in the middle of December. Now, another reason I think we might expect lower prices is the performance of gold miners. Very often, price action of gold miners has a predictive power over what is going to happen to gold price itself. So let's have a look at GDX here. Let's have a look at GDX since early 2017, and within this daily cycle, GDX has touched the 20-day moving average and later moved below it on 21st of February, which happened on the 2nd of March with the gold price itself. This downward movement in GDX within this daily cycle lasted since 9th of February to 9th of March, and the corresponding downward movement in the daily cycle of gold has started quite later and finished on the same date. Next daily cycle, again, GDX touched the 20-day moving average on the 19th of April. Gold did it on the 24th of April, several days later. Again, movement down in the GDX started on the 13th of April, whereas gold started moving down on the 17th, several days later. In the last daily cycle of that year, GDX just dipped just below the 20-day moving average on the 9th of June, whereas gold did that or touched that moving average on the 12th of June. Although you could argue that gold touched it on the same date as well. The move down in GDX since the daily cycle has reached its top started on the 6th of June, whereas with gold that pretty much started on the same date. So for the last daily cycle, in the previous intermediate cycle, the movements in the miners as well as the gold itself were coinciding time-wise. Now, what's happening at the moment? Well, over the last several weeks, gold price was within this range between around 1260, just above 1260, 1264, and this range has proved to be a support level several times already, once in early August, then in early October, late October, early November, several times. We're in this price range between 1263 or so, and the upper level of that price range is close to 1305. What's happening with gold miners is, instead of being in this fixed price range, the lower bottom of this price range for gold miners has been moving down. In early October, miners were at just below $23 GDX. That's GDX. In late October, that moved down to just over $22. Again, just below $22 in early November, and so on. So over the last several weeks, gold miners are in this downward channel, whereas gold price itself is moving horizontally. So this downward movement in the gold miners might again have some predictive power over where gold price is going to move over the next several weeks. And lastly, having a look at the US dollar. Over the last few days, US dollar is cooling down somewhat. If this movement continues, then over the next several days we might get close to oversold levels on the RSI, and we will be just in time for the US dollar to bounce up in expectation of the rate hike in mid-December. Generally, of course, the US dollar and gold price move in opposite directions, not always, but generally. So this is again another factor that makes me think we will expect a lower low in gold price. That is my expectation. If you think the video has been useful and interesting, follow my channel, subscribe, hit the like button, upvote on steemit, and I wish you luck in your trades.